You've heard that term, divine plan, and you probably thought, that doesn't mean anything. And I don't really have it. And then other people don't have it. So what does that mean? And I'm here to say to you, yes, you are still the divine plan. And I will tell you why I know that is true, because I know that you were born with really great purpose and reason and something you were supposed to contribute to your life and also our world. And you're here on the earth at this time to be able to do that. And it might have seemed really uncomfortable and scary and frightening for you. And that's exactly why you're here, because you came to change things. Or you might be looking at the world and thinking, wow, everything is falling apart. And I don't know why this is happening. And why did I sign up for this? You signed up for it because you are part of the divine plan and you have something really wonderful within you that once you let it go and start to come into who you are, you live this really great, wonderful life and you heal and you prosper and you give that to others. And that is why you are part of the divine plan. But you may not have believed that, but you will today, because I'm going to read something to you. And then I'm going to leave a video that you can listen to, which was done on November the 23rd in 2022, and it will make sense and it'll explain to you your divine plan. It will explain all of it and what's happening in your life and in our world right now. I know I didn't believe that either. And I hid from it for so long, and you've done the same thing. We all do. Because, see, the thing that we were given to do in our lives, in the world, is always in front of us. We have to step into it. We have to become willing to do something. And sometimes that's uncomfortable because we're supposed to be these unique people, but we're trying to be someone else. We're looking at others and thinking, I'm supposed to be like them. No, you're supposed to be yourself. And that is actually the difficulty that we're experiencing in our world, is because we're not allowing ourselves to be our authentic selves. And that is understanding our connection to source, to God, whatever you might think. But it's all people. We just come about it at different ways and in different times. But I'm going to read this a message to you first, and then I'm going to explain something else, because there is order in the universe that we start to discover and figure out. There are different people who have lived over time. There was Carl Jung, for instance, who I've spoken of, because I have an article on my website saying I might be channeling Carl Jung when I started to understand synchronicity. And you felt that. You've probably felt more of them recently in your life that you hadn't noticed before, because that is an indication that you're being awakened to something about you that you're meant to bring to the world. Everything is consciousness, no matter who you are. But the only way any human exists is in consciousness. We just decide if we're going to move to that higher state of consciousness within us, because we all have that ability, but everyone won't do it. So you will decide if you're going to do it, and I have to make that decision as well. Because see, the only thing that happens, the only reason that you're uncomfortable and afraid is because you're not willing to take the next step in the higher understanding of who you are. And I know that because for 74 years, that's what I've lived. And so to be here at this age and have moved through all the difficulties, all the challenges, all the hardships that you have, I know what you can do. And when you listen to that recording, you will also understand it. So there will be no more excuses for you not to live this great life and become who you're meant to be, because I know that's who you are. And I also understand, because I understand science and I know how important it is this time for you to love yourself, for you to move into that next dimension of who you're meant to become, because we can all do that when we become willing. And that's the only thing, is becoming willing. But what happened was I got up and I thought, I'm going to record a video and talk about this. But I also know that there's alignment in the universe. And Wilhelm told me that last year, certain dates that they would had given me information that we would come to understand, and it was in alignment. That made no sense to me, except when I started to discover it was actually happening. I thought maybe I want to start to believe, and maybe you want to start to believe in who you are. Because the only thing that happens for any of us is not believing in who we are and who we can become and what our particular life journey is. And every single one is valuable. But let me read this to you first, and then we'll talk about As you can see, this particular message is on my website, anyadvicefortoday.com, and it came through on November 22nd, 2023. And then you'll see that there are other dates that are there. Imagine that your consciousness is always evolving over time, over linear time. That's how you learn anything, that's how you grow, that's how you evolve. But guess what? Our society does the same thing, our civilization. And when I'm receiving information from Wilhelm, it's not limited to linear time, which is why I could receive this guidance. November 23rd, 2023, you are still the divine plan. We say still because it was the message we gave you a year ago on this date, but you will understand it more today as your consciousness has awakened. But now you will be more motivated to take action as you examine your life and world. We also held a live conversation the following day, perfectly timed for today, especially for those in the United States and elsewhere who will celebrate Thanksgiving tomorrow. Gratitude will be your most powerful resource. November 2nd, 2022. You are the divine plan. We wanted to use that terminology as we knew not everyone would pay attention, but you did. As we use that term, it is to signify your recognition of your existence in your world at this time of restructuring. You exist because you possess something that you are meant to bring to the world, which would facilitate your evolution in that of your world, for you are all one. That concept is a continual work in progress, and what you add will accelerate that transition. What you add is your authentic self and the gift you were given to bring, but many have doubted, which is why we have provided our work. And then we go back to November 22nd, 2012, because there is alignment in the universe, and that's how I received all of this. An excellent way to examine how you choose to live your physical life experience is to notice if you are looking ahead or behind. Knowing what you are creating sometimes it's creating some becomes much easier when you think of it in those terms. Looking ahead is usually with excitement, joyful anticipation, and envisioning the life experience you desire to have. When you are looking behind, it is mainly with some sense of regret or remorse. And in that instance, because you are placing energy there, you are continually creating more of the same. When you have those moments where you think you are looking ahead and have some fear or anxiety, that can only be because a part of you is still looking behind. Wilhelm. Now, and here is the session from November 23rd, because it goes back another year, November 23rd of 2022. And when you listen to that one, you will understand everything, and you will also understand how important you are to be in the world at this time. But I also want you to understand something else because, see, you might be listening to this and nobody else that knows you would be doing anything like this, or everyone around you is different and you're wondering why you changed and they aren't, and all of that. It's because you are on a path to understand who you are and you decided to do it. That's the only reason you would be listening, the only reason you would show up. But there is something else I want to give you because this will help you understand the next little bit of time in our world in your life. We have a new moon coming up on December 1st, and I'm going to do a channeling session on that day. But they gave me a message last year for that particular day. And if you understand it now, you will kind of understand the visions and what's happening in your life and in our world. But this one will help you so much as well. Okay, so this is the message I received last December 1st. And that will be the theme, and I have more on that, but that will be the theme of what we will be doing on this coming December 1st and the channeling session that we will have. Okay, December 1st, 2023. Evolution and ascension are not the same. We provided a message on this date 3 years ago where we warned you that evolution was not meant to be quick, but ascension fuels all evolution, which all souls will not choose. As we have mentioned, your responsibility is to choose ascension or moving closer to the light, which only occurs when you decide to love yourself. You accomplish that goal by moving through your generational limitations and restrictions, which would have said to you that you were not enough or are more than another, both false premises. When you remember your connection to all that is, you give that awareness to others and further your evolution and planetary ascension. We will repeat a portion of our message, which will make more sense today as you view your life and world. Now you can choose ascension. December 1st, 2020. Evolution was never meant to be quick. We're giving Roger a lot of confusing information, just as many of you may be experiencing your lives now, but we told him to type. As we have said continually to remind you of the reason for the current events in your world, you are moving through a massive restructuring. It is again occurring within you. Each moment of your existence allows you to expand and become more. But most of you do not believe that is possible, especially within yourselves. Coupling that with your constant fear of the unknown, you can visualize the dilemma in which you have existed throughout eternity. In the coming days in your world, you will witness groups of people unwilling to change and accept the new opportunities provided to them. But the only question you will have is if you will be one of them. All that matters is what you choose to do in your evolution, Wilhelm. And like I said, I'm going to leave the link to that session from 2022 in this description because I'd love for you to hear that. And you will understand that you can accomplish anything. And I can say this because I know, 74 and what I've gone through and what I've done with this work, I know what you can do, which is why I know what we can accomplish in our world. We'll look at the world and think, oh, it can't change. I'm saying yes, it can, because I know how it happens. It happens with more people understanding who they are and deciding to evolve or ascend to the highest state of who they can become, and then you heal. And that is all the work that I'm going to be giving everyone, and I'm going to be putting that out. I'm doing this today because next week we're laying out so much more. But I want you to know there is nothing that stands in your way except you think you have been taught something that just didn't serve you. That's all that goes on for all of us. That's what happens with us individually and also our civilization as a whole. And we're moving through a period where we're coming to understand that on a bigger level. The work that I was given was to move through all the restrictions that have existed within our society, within humankind, that told us that we were not all equal, that certain people weren't enough, that women didn't matter, or the female gender wasn't as important. Whatever it might be, whatever you thought, it wasn't true because we're all souls. When you come back to realizing that you have a soul that is evolving and you have worth and value that comes to the earth to do something, then you will help what Wilhelm has called the restructuring, and we will all get through this really well. But enjoy all of this because I know that after today, you will change your mind about who you are after listening to this. I'll leave the link in there. And I'm saying this because what I'm doing now is I have to move on and I'm going to complete all of this. I have so many wonderful people in this program and I'm thrilled for what's happening. And I know they are making a difference. We're all making a difference. And the crazy thing is, the way that you make a difference is by becoming happy, by becoming who you're meant to be and moving through all the old stuff. And it can be challenging because I've done it, but the other side is you end up in bliss, as you will hear in that video. Thank you for being here. Please share this with others and have them listen because they will gain so much value as well. Check out all my work and you can go to my website as well. So you are here to do wonderful things in your life and in our world. See you soon.